Appalachian hard holler life. January mud, counting mason jars, praying that they're enough. Screen door hanging on a rusted spring, dog barking low when the night wind sings. Smoke from the chimney hanging thin and white, trying to hold this house together. One more night, hard Appalachian life. It cuts and it carves every rib, every road, every rusted out car. We get up, fall down, and we get up twice, scratching out a living in this hard Appalachian life. Supper's done. Lightning hit the oak out behind the barn. Burned it all winter just to stay warm. Daddy said, boy, these hills don't bend. They'll break your back before they break your will. Moonshine, shadows, and a Bible verse, trying to outrun a family curse. Hard Appalachian life. It cuts and it carves every rib, every road, every rusted out car. We get up, fall down, then we get up twice, scratching out a living in this hard Appalachian life. We pass down names, patchwork quilts, unpaid bills, and iron wills. This ridge, this rock, this blood, this fight, ain't nobody coming to save us tonight. Hard Appalachian life, it scars and survives through the rain and the hunger and the long cold nights. We get lost, hold on, keep the fire alive, scratching out forever in this hard Appalachian life. Red clay still stuck on my Sunday shoes.
All right. Here we are again, another Monday morning. Time to get after it. Coffee brewing? All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters of the blue collar sunrise. I don't think the sun's quite coming up, but it won't be long. This is Bubba coming to you live from this side of the coffee cup. I'm about ready to hit that coffee cup too. This side of the work boots. Yeah, I got my boots on this morning. And this side of another Monday morning opportunity. That's right, I call it an opportunity. An opportunity to get out and do something special with your life. And somewhere beyond the Appalachian ridgeline, smiling through the veil of wisdom, wit, and enough mountain common sense to remind us that shortcuts usually become the long way around, sits Clariforia. She's over my shoulder right there. Keep her with me everywhere I go. She is my digital assistant. Appreciate you boys and girls tuning in. Another Monday morning has arrived. It's another week to build, another opportunity to improve. Before the first machine starts, before the first toolbox meeting, before the first piece of steel is lifted, let's get our minds right. Because around here, we believe in being safe, timely, and efficient. And today's reminder comes from Built from Within. There's always a better way. Phrase of the week. There's always a better way. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm ready for a little cup of coffee myself. Send me a chat. Let me know what trades you're repping, what kind of project you're on. I really want to know. I'm just trying to get some background going this morning. Can I set the mood? Woo! Anyway, send me a chat. Let me know what trades you rep and what kind of project you're on. High rise, low rise, industrial, commercial, power plant, chemical plant, power lines, power transmission, power plant. Phrase of the week. There's always a better way. One of the greatest qualities of a craftsman is curiosity. Good craftsmen never stop asking. Is there a better way? Not an easier way, a better way, a safer way, a smarter way, a more efficient way. Every improvement in construction began because someone questioned the way things had always been done. Somebody invented better tools. Somebody designed better cranes. Somebody improved fall protection. Somebody developed better PPE. Progress begins with curiosity. Complacency begins with, we've always done it this way. The greatest builders never stop learning. They study, they observe, they improve. And every improvement, no matter how big or how small, shows respect for the people who came after them. This week, look for one thing you can improve, one habit, one process, one conversation, one opportunity to make tomorrow better than today. Because there's almost always a better way. Always a better way. My leadership experience in the field, just to try to give you a style, is I just wanted to play a little different something. I don't want no. Years in the field, leadership positions and things like that. I encourage people, I understand you have challenges in the field, but when you come to me looking for solutions, I need you to have an idea of how you think you would solve it. When you come to me, don't come to me for all your solutions. I want you to be able to noodle it out. And if you come to me with one or two different variations, get with your team. Y'all noodle it out. How can we do this? And then if you're still unsure, then you come to me and tell me your various ways of it. And then we use my knowledge, training, and experience and combine it with what you've come up with based on your team's training, knowledge, and experience. And we form the mastermind, which will give us probably the best answer available for the challenge. So that's one thing I always did, was encourage that the leadership I was responsible for came to me with challenge. I encourage, if you got a challenge, come to me now. But when you come to me, I wanna hear how you're going to fix it, what you think, and then we can work together to get the best solution. And hey, I've been on jobs where a guy a young kid, just got out of school or just been in the field for a while, just been with the company a short period of time. Maybe he's doing trash duty, rolling a wheelbarrow, cleaning up, and he's made observations, and he says, "Hey, Mr. Langford." And then I go, "Call me Scott." And he'll go, "Hey, look, I'm looking at this, and I was wondering." And it's amazing to me how many times over the years that somebody who's new to the scene put fresh eyeballs on something, has seen something different that that could offer improvements. Now, a lot of times, that won't work that way. Let me tell you why, and give them an explanation. But every now and then, it's like, damn, that's good. And then hook them up with, you go explain that to somebody. Go there and see Johnny and tell him what you saw. Or a lot of times I'll walk over there and say, "Hey, Johnny, listen to this guy. He's got a good idea. I think it might be a good idea." And then, I'll wander off and go do something else, but I always follow up. "Hey, Johnny, what'd y'all figure out about what that guy came up with?" "Oh, yeah, we going to do that. That's a good idea." I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So, always encourage free thought and conversation. Now, so sometimes we're in we don't have time for that kind of conversation, depending on the task at hand, which may be a critical lift or something like that. And a new guy, he may have questions, and we'll answer as we can. But most of that should have been covered in the pre-lift plan or pre-demo plan or the PTP and things like that when it gets down to critical things of that nature. All right. Checking my sound. Anyway, there we go. That's send me a chat and let me know how that goes on your job site. How do you handle people that are fresh on your job and they have new insights? And how often has it happened to you, and how did you respond to it? I'm interested in knowing how you handle those type of things. Let's see, something important here, the weather pattern in the summertime here. Uh, you know, Muggy mornings and the sun comes up and heats the atmosphere, and oftentimes, especially here in the southeast, it leads to afternoon thunderstorms, pop-up thunderstorms. And so let's be cognizant of that kind of hazard. Let's make sure that we're keeping an eye on the skies. Now, I know as construction workers, we naturally keep an eye on the work. Professional construction workers also keep an eye on the weather. Job site conditions can change in minutes. High winds can turn sheet goods into sails, and I have seen that a time or two. Heavy rain, it can if it's relatively dry and you get some rain, that old light dust, it turns into slick stuff, slicker and whatever, but slippery surfaces, mud, steel, even sidewalks. It can create unstable excavations if you've got excavations going on, and poor visibility. Flooding can change access routes, and it weakens ground conditions. On a construction site, as you dig your foundations and all that soil gets around the perimeters and stuff gets turned and moved and turned and moved and got a lot of airspace in it, and you get some rain, can turn into hidden potholes, trenches, mud pits, all kinds of conditions. And then let's, think about lightning. If you hear thunder, you're already in you're already in an area where you can get struck. You're already there. If you hear thunder, you're in the vicinity where you can get struck by lightning. If you're lightning, it threatens workers on the roof, scaffolds, working around cranes, ladders, and open sites. If you're in the open site and you're doing earthwork, you could be several hundred acres exposed, and there you are in the middle of it on a piece of equipment. You're exposed. All that iron, man, a good lightning rod. Anyway, now I know that I myself, I do keep track of the weather. And if I'm on a job site, I'll make sure I'm looking at what the forecasts are, and I keep an eye on the sky, and if it looks threatening, I'll start monitoring for fronts coming through, or use the lightning bug or one of those apps that shows where lightning strikes are, and start tracking that stuff. And if something's within 6 miles, I start moving the guys toward safety. I don't want anybody struck by lightning. Doesn't matter. Production, no production is worth somebody's life. Anyway, there are some OSHA recommendations, and they recommend monitoring weather forecasts, establishing emergency procedures before work begins. And that's true. You should have an EAP, emergency action plan, and talk about it on a regular basis. Okay, here's the storm shelters. If the weather gets severe, here's places to go. Give them established places to go to take cover that you've already determined. That way, if something an emergency does happen, you can do an appropriate head count. Make sure you account for everybody on the job site. Anyway, establishing emergency procedure before work begins, and moving workers to substantial buildings or enclosed vehicles when thunderstorms approach. Remember, if you hear thunder, lightning is already close enough to strike. Now, high winds, depending on your crane operation, depending on if it's a critical lift, may require suspending crane operations, aerial lift work, roofing, or material handling. You have to make those determinations before you start work. Okay, if we're handling sheet goods, putting it on the roof, and if we need to know that, hey, it's forecast for a little wind today. If it gets up to a certain speed, then we need to waive this operation and redirect your forces to stand down or perform other tasks in a more secure area. Anyway, heavy rain, once again, it can hide trip hazards. It can reduce traction. Flooded excavations should never be entered until properly evaluated. Even if you got trench boxes, I wouldn't go into them until you do some evaluation. Sloping may give way. Trench walls may collapse depending on the rain, how much rain. They'll hold water. Could be a drowning hazard. You walk in there and you slip and your feet get stuck in mud and the water's over your head and you can't get out. It could be a bad situation. Remember, weather awareness is not luck. it's leadership. The weather doesn't care about the schedule. Sometimes the safest decision is simply knowing when to stop. All right. How we doing this morning, everybody? Somebody check in with me. Send me a chat. Let me know what's happening in your world. Just trying to get things rolling, get us all motivated on this brand new Monday morning. We're out here let's see, we got about another half hour before the sun rises on the East Coast. Everybody have a good weekend? Send me a chat. Let me know what you did this weekend. Did you have a cookout? Did your kids have some sports activities? Last week, I'll tell y'all, I got a little exercise routine. I like to go out and three days a week at least and do some walking. Well, Wednesday last week, I was on a walk and it was a beautiful day. I was on a nice flat spot and I was boasting to myself how proud I was, the good pace I was keeping, and traveling along, and thought came to my mind. I said, man, since I'm doing so good on this walk, does that mean the devil's at my door? And I don't know if that was predetermination or whatever, but as I walked along, I tripped on a root and I fell and hit my left elbow somehow and sprained my left elbow. And to pick up a coffee, I can't even hold a coffee cup. I can't move my hand any closer than this to my face without pain. And so it's been since Wednesday, and taking a little pain medication. I don't like it. It leaves me kind of groggy. But if it doesn't get better by tomorrow, Wednesday, I may have to go back to the doctor. Make sure there ain't a chip or something in there that keeps catching. I don't know, man. Y'all be careful out there. See, just walking along, a trip hazard can get you. And I saw all these roots, and I'd just come off a paved trail for, a couple miles, and stepped onto this unpaved trail and a wooded section, or an unkept section of this trail, unpaved section, and I could see the roots. And I guess, my feet got used to not having to come up so high, walking on that smooth asphalt, and whatever, that root got me, man. Launched my old walking stick. Heck, I had to spend 20 minutes looking around for the walking stick. Launched it. And anyway, it just goes to show you, man, a trip hazard doesn't have to be very much to get you. It could be a piece of conduit on the ground. It could be an extension cord. It could be it could be anything, a piece of wood, anything, just a fraction of an inch above what you're accustomed, above the customary walking surface. It's like walking up a set of stairs. If you've got 20 stairs going up, and the standard is they're supposed to be the same rise, and if one rise is off by 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16, your mind has already done the calculations when you're going up those stairs, and if that one step is off by 1/8 of an inch, or maybe even a 1/16 of an inch, you're going to hit it and you almost fall up the stairs. If you've had that happen, let me know. Send me a chat. But anyway, that's how the brain works. And it's, to me, it's pretty amazing. But if we're not paying attention and make conscious corrections in what we're doing, then you could be tripped up laying on the ground. Not the first time I've ended up on the ground in my career. But anyway, that's send me a chat. Let me know what's ever happened to you. All right, folks. Let's brighten the morning before somebody blames the weather for losing another tape measure. A laborer asked the foreman. He says, "Boss, how do I know if it's too windy to work?" Foreman said, "When your hard hat gets to the job site before you do." All right, here's another one. Apprentice proudly told the old mechanic, "I organized my toolbox." The mechanic smiled. "Good." The apprentice said, "I can't find anything now." Ain't that the truth? How many times have you done that? Reorganized your shop, your bench, your toolbox, and then you spend 10 minutes looking for one thing and it's right there in front of you. I used to be over here, and then I used it over here, and then I was over here with it, and now I wander around the shop a half hour looking for something. Or end up using another tool. A less efficient tool because you got too impatient. Anyway, old superintendent asked, "Hey, who borrowed my shovel?" The whole crew suddenly became fascinated with the weather forecast. They afraid he's going to hand them that shovel. That's what it was. He hid it from me. "I ain't digging no ditches today." It reminds me one time I was a younger man. I don't think I was 30. And I had gotten my commercial driver's license. And I could drive a truck. And I was working for this old boy as a temporary service who hired me to deliver warehouse pallet shelving like they have in the Home Depot. He would buy this stuff, in auctions, and then he would get an order to have it modified to go into a warehouse, and he'd cut it to a different height or whatever and have it and he'd send us out to install it, and I was delivering. And I was just young and dumb, and so he had this parking area where he had all this stuff staged, and it was low in the middle from the trucks turning around and all that. And it had rained and formed a pond out there, and he handed me a 4-inch spade, a trenching spade, and told me to go out there and trench that thing out and drain that out. I looked at that shovel in one hand and looked at him and looked at that shovel again, and I handed it back to him and said, "You hired a truck driver, not a ditch digger." And I left, and that was I regret that as I've gotten older. That old boy needed help, and he hired me and gave me an opportunity, and I was all wrong-minded about things, and so consider what you do before you do it. Think before you speak. Don't be so cocky. Of course, I was just young and dumb. I wouldn't do that now. But anyway, that's a lesson learned. I hope you learned a little something from it yourself. It is 5:30 in the morning. Let's talk about tools. Tools, you know, they keep the job running smooth. You can't, tools, you need them. You just need them, whether it's wrenches if you're a mechanic, power tools if you're a carpenter or a plumber, uh, wrenches, like I said, if you're a mechanic, and well maintained tools keep the jobs moving. Now, good tools don't guarantee good work, but neglected tools almost always guarantee delays. Professional crews understand something simple. Tools keep the job moving. Clean tools work better. Maintained equipment lasts longer. Organized equipment saves time. Simple habits make a tremendous difference. Make sure you clean your tools before putting them away. Nobody wants to reach into the toolbox and see it jam full of debris and sawdust and grease and all that. Shoot, man, so clean it up. Roll up them cords if it's corded. Make sure it's clean before you put it away. Make sure you inspect the cords, guards, hoses, and handles whenever you touch a tool. If you're putting it away or taking it out to use it, inspect it. You know, if you're using a tool and you're done with it and you notice that the guard is hanging up, let somebody know. Hey, man, the guard's hanging up on this thing. The foreman might say, well, can you fix it before you put it away? Can you get it, because the next guy that grabs it, there might be a situation where he's in a kind of a jam and needs it, and he drags it out and finds that there's something wrong with it, and it could be in a situation where it could cause damage or injury to a coworker or property. So make sure when you put it away, make sure it's in good working order, or notify somebody that it's not. Reminds me of a story one time. We was working on a 8 or 10 story building, and I was walking the floors and checking on work, and superintendent, he had one of the guys had a bad sawzall, and he said, well, there's another one in the truck down there. And the guy down the stairs, across a big old parking lot, and got the other one, and he just took the other one and threw it in the darn toolbox. And he got back up and went to work, and a little later, another guy performing another task, needed a sawzall, so he went down to the truck, down 8 flights of stairs, across the parking lot, got the one that was broken, and towed it back across the parking lot, back up 8 flights of stairs, plugged it in, and it didn't work. A guy took it down there, says, yeah, I knew it didn't work. I took it down there and got this one. He says, well, why didn't you let somebody know? Why didn't you wrap some tape around it or something? Because this poor old guy just walked a quarter mile and up and down 8 flights of stairs. You just wasted this guy's time and energy. Oh, I didn't know. So inspect the car, and if something's wrong with it, let somebody know. Make sure that you get proper maintenance on them, such as lubricating moving parts when recommended. Replace worn blades and bits before they fail. Charge the batteries properly. And store equipment where it's protected from moisture and impact. I've walked by so many dadgum trucks that had battery powered equipment just tossed in the back because the guy didn't want to take the extra 5 steps and put it in the toolbox and is laying in the rain. I'm like, man, what's the matter with you guys? So make sure you take care of your equipment and take care of it. It's your livelihood. And organization matters too. A missing wrench isn't just a convenience, it's lost production. An extension cord isn't just frustrating, it's a potential hazard. You know, if you got nicks and cuts in an extension cord and you got an exposed conductor or a ground prong is busted off of it, it could get somebody hurt. So if you're putting one away and you notice that it's damaged, let somebody know. Wrap it up, put some danger tape on it. If I'm on a job site and I see any kind of duct tape, electrical tape on an extension cord, I'm investigating. If I find a nick or a cut that gets into that inner conductor, breaks that outer insulation, and I can see inner insulation on the wires, I'm taking it out of service. I don't care how mad anybody gets. I've been known to cut them, just slap cut them. I take that something, cut the plugs off of them. Hey, why you cut my damn cord? That guy, superintendent name was Mike. I called him Yosemite Sam. I can see him today. I think it was probably first job I was on with this company, and it was a power plant, and it had steel grates on the floors, and he had guys up there doing some demolition, picking this building down, and I walked in, and there was 4 or 5 extension cords, and man, there was so much electrical tape and duct tape on those things, and they were all cut and damaged, and I went in there and I saw them and I said, replace these. Okay, replace them. He was like, "Arr." And they went to lunch, and I walked back up there during the lunch, and those cords were still there, and I went to cut all the plugs off. And he got, oh, that son of a bitch cut all my cables. And I had pictures of them, and I sent them, and he had to go to town and buy a bunch of new extension cords. Well, that's the way it shakes out, man. Now, you talking about delays, you had lunch hour, you could have went and done that, or you could have sent somebody earlier, but you decided that it wasn't important enough for them guys standing on metal floor with the damaged electrical cords. Some of them had exposed conductors, and you thought it was more important for them to keep working than their lives. And I said, dang, man. Anyway, professional workers respect their equipment because they know dependable tools create dependable work. Take care of your equipment, and your equipment will take care of you. All righty. Y'all send me a chat. Let me know. Be more exciting if I had some interaction on this early morning program. It is 5:40 in the morning. Got about 20 more minutes of show time left. I have done worked up a pee, and I don't have anybody to step in and take over if I had to take a break. So I'm going to sit here and just hang out with you and suffer, I reckon. I need to, I could change my, well, not going to do it now, but I could add another ABC on there and have it say be right back as if I had to take a break, but I think I can wiggle through, hopefully. Anyway, this week on the safety channel, and that is right here, we're continuing it's a 12-part PPE series that I've been doing, and it covers all the basic PPE that we have out there in the field and why it's important. And we've covered fall protection, and we've covered foot protection, hand protection, hard hats. I think we've covered safety glasses. But this week on the channel, we're talking about respiratory protection. One of the greatest dangers on any job site is something you can't see. And that could be dust, silica dust, welding fumes, asbestos, lead, chemical vapors, smoke, airborne contaminants. Many respiratory hazards don't cause immediate pain. Instead, they slowly affect your health over months and years. And in this video that's on the other channel, it'll be released Friday. We discuss why respiratory protection matters, how to do a hazard assessment, choosing a proper respirator, N95 filtering face piece respirators, a half face, full face respirators, talk about cartridge selection, medical evaluations, fit test, seal checks, inspection, maintenance, storage, OSHA requirements, some common mistakes. Now, remember, respirators don't replace engineering controls or ventilation. They're part of an overall protection strategy. Every healthy breath you protect today is an investment in tomorrow. Protect your future breath. Keep that in mind. It could be rather complicated. If you're on a job site or you have been on a job site where you've had required to use respiratory protection, send me a chat and let me know. Is it as simple as an N95? Or did you have a half face respirator with a HEPA only for dust? Or did you have to have a chemical stacked cartridge with chemical and HEPA, or smoke and HEPA? Or let me know what you had to use. I'm interested in knowing. And I used to do a fit test, and I like the you had the sweet banana, and you'd wave around and have them read the rainbow passage and move their heads back and forth and up and down and check that seal. And I always requested that old smoke, that adjutant smoke, that old choking smoke. them old boys, they'd come in there, boy, I'd gas them up real and I mean, I wanted it, I've had to wear them. I'd shave this old beard back and have a good fit, but I wanted them to have a good fit, especially guys working with asbestos. Uh, it's only a HEPA filter, but they had to wear, half face respirator as a minimum. The PAPRs are really nice. Those power assisted ones where it blows the air into you. There's no way you can really draw any fibers into your mask with you. Those are really nice. But torch burners too, they had to wear a stacked one. They had to wear a HEPA with an organic. It's kind of pinkish purple. I think it's called a lead or some kind of organic filter that had to go on there along with the HEPA. And you got to take care of those things. You talking about making a safety guy mad? Let me walk a site and see your respirator hanging on a nail inside a dirty area, not properly stored. Make me mad. I'd hang around and watch, see who that belonged to, and catch them and say, "Come on, we're gonna go clean that respirator." A lot of times, be a darn supervisor. Anyway, take care of your breath, man. Think about that. You're talking about somebody like a mason, a brick mason, or a block mason. They're young and healthy, and they can really lay the block, man. They got big numbers. He laid this many block or this many brick for the day. He starts out as an apprentice in his 20s, and by the time he's in his mid 30s, he's at his peak, laying the brick and the block and training little guys how to do it. And then by the time he reaches his late 30s and early 40s, his production is slumped off. He has just can't keep up anymore, and years of just dealing with silica dust from the mortar and from breaking the brick, and just a constant exposure has limited his capacity to breathe. Now, this was studies done years ago. It has improved considerably, and we've learned how to manage that a little better. But and then you get the older guys, they keep doing that until their 60s, and all of a sudden they've got COPD and can't hardly walk across the room without breathing hard, like me walking up the steps. But anyway, take care of your breath. If you're not sure and you're in a situation where there's all kinds of dust, talk to your supervisor. Get some respiratory protection. All right. Well, here we go. We have been knocking on it. I got to get up out of here as soon as I get this thing finished up and haul off some trash. I'm going to go for a walk. Hopefully this old elbow will heal up. I need to cut my grass, but I don't think I can push a lawnmower with this elbow. My wife gives me the old side eye when I say that. He thinks might start thinking I'm using it as an excuse, but the grass is now overdue by 3 days. I should have cut it Friday. But It's a struggle for me. Maybe I hope it straightens out. It's raining today, so that grass is going to be thick and burly to cut. But anyway, coffee cups getting lighter. Trucks are getting closer to the job site, getting ready to go to work. Another week of opportunity is waiting on us. Get out there, make something out of yourself. Show them how professional you can be. Participate in that toolbox meeting, safety meeting. Participate in that PTP meeting. Offer suggestions. Keep an eye out. Be a leader. But remember this week's lesson. There's always a better way. Keep learning, whatever you're doing. Keep learning every day. Every day. Keep improving. If it's from having shined boots coming in on Monday morning with your boots cleaned up to having your safety vest washed and cleaned, having your PPE with you, not having to ask for it, having it on and ready to go to work, participating in the PTP and the safety meetings, asking questions. Keep protecting yourself. Also, watch those skies out there. Convince your coworkers, hey, man, I looked at the weather this morning. It looks like we're going to have some rain. I guess we need to keep an eye on the sky. And they're calling for thunderstorms later this afternoon. Let's keep that in mind. Take care of your equipment. Always take care of your equipment. Don't just throw it in the back of the truck. Put it away properly. Clean it up. That 1 or 2 extra minutes, it don't take that long to get it cleaned up. And if you put it away and the side box is a little disorganized, spend a minute or 2 straighten up the side box. You may not think anybody's watching, but I guarantee you your supervisor's watching, and he'll notice that you're doing that kind of thing. And that could advance your career just because you've taken that moment to take care of your equipment. And protect your lungs. I'll be on the lookout. If there's concrete breaking, concrete sawing, torch burning, using any kind of chemical on a job, and you smell something funny, remember, those are your lungs. You only get one set of lungs. There ain't no replacement parts for your lungs, and there's plenty of replacement parts for respirators. And remember, the best workers never stop becoming better workers. You can improve every step of every day. Make yourself better. Improve the life of people around you, your family, just because the better you become, the better those people associate with you become. Believe me, either they become better or they no longer become a part of your association. And our lives are built on association. See, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. All right, boys and girls, we got about 5 minutes left. I just want to say from all of us here at Monday Morning Bubba, that's all me and Pluriforia. And from the Ever Watcher Pluriforia, smiling quietly from somewhere beyond the digital Appalachian Mountains, thank you for spending another Monday morning with us. Be safe, be timely, and be efficient. Now, let's get out there. Go build something worthwhile. Have a wonderful week. Most of all, most importantly, have a grateful day. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next time.